Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. Now this video is going to be a bit of a mishmash of various Tyson Fury related news. A couple of bits and pieces that I wanted to sort of string together and some questions that I did want to ask sort of relating from the news, and keen to get your views on that. So the first one relates to Tyson Fury and his Mojo, because Frank Warren is adamant he's got it back. Also, we've seen Tyson Fury, a few pictures come up online, him and Deontay Wilder, and their gloves are off. And also, there's a tweet that's come out from Fury himself regarding his trainer Ben Davison. And I wanted to touch on that specifically because obviously Ben Davison, hasn't had a huge amount of credit from fans for what he's done for Fury. But, obviously he's got a lot of work ahead of him. And there's a couple of things that, it's worthwhile talking about in relation to Davison. But first order of business. So Frank Warren on his official website, frankwarren.com, and you can go check it out, an article that he posted called Wet and Wilder. In it, sort of partway through, he discusses Tyson Fury and some of the rationale for taking this Deontay Wilder fight. So Warren says, "It is true the original train of thought was to have Tyson get his touchback over a sequence of 3 or 4 routine assignments. Tyson's mindset has since altered, and after proving that he comfortably has the rounds in him against the capable and durable Francisco Pianeta, he sees no value in repeating the exercise. Make no mistake, Tyson has got his mojo back, and it is doubtful that he would learn more about himself, or us about him, by taking part in another couple of similar tune-ups just for the sake of it. He believes he is ready to take his place in the biggest heavyweight clash and the toughest fight out there, and so do I. The undefeated lineal champion against the undefeated WBC champion. It just doesn't get much bigger than that." And Frank Warren is right there. It doesn't get too much bigger than this in the heavyweight division today. Only 2 other fights, I think, would actually be bigger than this, and they both involve the 2 guys who are fighting, but with Anthony Joshua. So a Wilder-Joshua fight and a Wilder-Fury fight, I think, are slightly bigger fights than the Wilder-Fury fight itself. But, other people may have a different opinion on that, and you're welcome to it. In terms of some of these comments here, the original train of thought being, get his touchback over a sequence of 3 or 4 routine assignments. That's certainly the conventional wisdom that is held by many, is actually perhaps that is still the wise strategy. But it's too late now. Fury's changed his mind. He's going to fight Deontay Wilder. His mindset is altered, and that he's proved that he comfortably has the rounds in him against a capable and durable Francisco Pianeta. Well, certainly Fury, he proved he could go all 10 rounds against Pianeta, but the pace, it wasn't a lightning fast pace. Fury, he pushed it at times and pushed it faster than it maybe needed to be, but it was still at a relatively comfortable pace. He was boxing within him. Can he go 12 rounds against Deontay Wilder? Well, probably. I think we have to sort of think about the Wilder fight in those opening few rounds. I think it's going to be quite low volume. Some of Deontay Wilder's recent fights, Gerald Washington, Luis Ortiz, they haven't been high volume fights for the first, 3, 4, 5 rounds. It's been a case where Deontay Wilder's been patient, he's been waiting, he's been looking for openings, and when he's had them, he's delivered a right hand, and that sort of turned the fight on its head. And from those points, that's when obviously he stopped Gerald Washington, I think it was the 5th round, and he landed on Ortiz in the 5th round, and obviously Ortiz, he sort of was lucky to get out of that round, but he did rally, he sort of put it back on Wilder, but the right hand became a factor later on again. So it's that right hand that Tyson Fury is going to have to worry about. I think we all know that. It's the equalizer. It's something that's going to be hard to get away from for all 12 rounds. And, Deontay Wilder, very athletic. He sort of throws that from 6, 7 feet away and it's on you in a heartbeat. So it's going to be a tough night for Tyson Fury in terms of being, defensively responsible. Because there's certainly been a lot of criticism that's been sort of bubbling up from the Pianeta fight, And sure, Pianeta was durable, but Pianeta was able to get a little bit of work away. And perhaps some of the shots that he was sort of touching Fury with were shots that, if Wilder was to have similar success, he might be able to actually hurt Fury. And yeah, there are some people who are saying Fury didn't take any shots. Then other people are saying that Pianeta actually landed quite a few. I mean, the reality is it's probably somewhere in the middle. But I mean, Fury, he was fighting to the level of Pianeta. He didn't seem to be too concerned with what was really coming back at him. He was trying to work on his things that he needed to do in the ring there. He was trying different things through the course of the fight. Well, that's my view. But in terms of him seeing no value in repeating the exercise, he's obviously decided he doesn't need to have any more tune-ups, and I'm sure that's to, Frank Warren probably would have liked to have had, if he's honest, he would have liked to have had one or two more, because that would have been good for other cards that he was having, the money side of the coin in terms of being able to milk the comeback, be able to get a few more dollars in the, in the till, ring it a bit more. But obviously, moving into this big fight, everyone involved in this, Wilder, Fury, their camps, they're flexing, they're going to make some money. But make no mistake, and this is what the quote was, Tyson has got his mojo back. I guess the key question here is, what does he really mean? Because his boxing mojo, it wasn't quite back. He looked a lot better than the Fury fight, but it wasn't a masterclass. But he did look better, and he was doing certain things in there that I thought, yeah, they looked pretty good, but maybe it was a touch off. Everything wasn't quite clicking, but he did look a lot better than the Fury fight back in June, and Pianeta this August fight, and then obviously it's going to be Wilder, it sounds like November or December. So, I expect him to look better again. But how much better is anyone's guess, and we can talk about that a little bit later on with Ben Davison in terms of his job that he now has in front of him. But Fury, has he got his mojo back? If we're talking about his swag and in terms of his confidence, I think you could probably say, well, he does have that back, but he's always had that in spades. But in terms of a boxing mojo, yeah, I'm not too sure about that. And would he have learned more about himself if he'd have had another actual warm-up fight? Well, it depends who that warm-up fight was against, because obviously we've had Fury so far, and that was a joke fight. And then Pianeta, that was really the first proper comeback fight. But if you had had an interim step-up, something between Pianeta and Wilder, it probably would have been of value. And there would have been more coming back at him, someone who was maybe a bit more in their prime. I think there would have been some value there. So there's certainly an argument to say another fight before Wilder would have been worthwhile. But it's kind of, that's gone now. The opportunity is not there. He wants this work against Deontay Wilder. And full credit to him for just thinking, well, I just want to take this challenge. And maybe this is the challenge he needed. And I did speak in one of my previous videos that perhaps after training for so long, he didn't see a path where he could be training for another year before a big fight. A really big fight is what I mean. Because if he was training for basically 2 years straight, that's a sort of a big toll, physically and even just mentally, the day in, day out, living the life. And Tyson Fury is a guy that sometimes has struggled to live that sort of Spartan lifestyle for an extended period of time. He, blows up in weight in between fights, and obviously blows up in weight hugely when he's semi-retired or retired, putting on well over 100 pounds. But that statement about Tyson having his mojo back is certainly up for debate. What do you make of that? Okay, so if we just move on here, we've got another article that I wanted to bring to your attention. We have from The Sun an article that is titled Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder film Explosive Gloves Are Off TV show, which is the best in history. Well, so they would have you believe. So Frank Warren, he's posted a collection of snaps of the heavyweight duo facing each other besides broadcaster John Rawling. And this is something that I didn't actually catch when it first came out on Twitter because Frank Warren blocked me. Well, whoever is managing his social media, and this is some time ago. Obviously a little bit salty about something I'd said way back when. But in terms of the article itself. Heavyweight rivals Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder have filmed an explosive gloves-are-off special, with Frank Warren labelling it as the best face-off in history. The duo are expected to put their differences aside in the ring in December in Las Vegas, with the Bronze Bombers' WBC belt on the line. Here is a still shot from the face-off, or either what was before the face-off or just after it. So obviously you can sort of see there's a bit of, Wilder very animated, and Fury also as well. And John Rawling, look at that look on his face. But John Rawling has said, just did an extraordinary head-to-head with Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder for BT Sport Boxing. Don't miss it. In terms of it being the best ever, well, time will be the judge on that. I think it'll be one of these things with Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. There'll be a few things that we here will be interested in. There'll be a little bit of insight, but it'll probably be largely what we expect, which is, two brash guys going at it, saying a few different things. Tyson Fury calling Deontay Wilder a bum, probably some choice language, and Wilder coming back and sort of saying some things that get up Tyson Fury's nose. So, it would actually be disappointing if it wasn't like that, because I think everyone is expecting it to be like that. But they would say it is the best ever because it's in their interest to do so. They want to sell the fight. It is a promotional tool after all. But we won't see it for some weeks, because obviously they film these things now, and then it sort of comes up a week or two before the fight. And in terms of Tyson Fury's trainer, Ben Davison, so obviously he's been working with Fury for about a year or so now. He's whipped him back into shape, taken 100 pounds off him, and he's had 2 fights under the belt with Fury, which is the Sefer Seferi and Francesco Pianetta. And Fury has sort of paid tribute, saying, big shout out to Ben Davison for getting me ready to take back what's really mine, the world. Couldn't have done it without you, pal. Big up yourself. Maybe some of the language and the way that's framed is a little premature, just in terms of, obviously he's not ready yet, and there's no guarantees he is going to take back what was his. He clearly didn't have the WBC belt before, but I get what he means. But Ben Davison, he's obviously been quoted in recent days as sort of saying that he wouldn't have taken this fight if it were over to him. But obviously Tyson Fury wanted it, and he wanted to fight Deontay Wilder, and full credit to him for taking on that challenge. But it is a big challenge, and it really is going to be an epic sort of fulfillment of a comeback story. It's a movie sort of narrative of Tyson Fury having won the world title and then sunk to massive lows, depression, piling on more than 100 pounds, drink and drug problems, so on and so forth, and then sort of coming through this Rocky style, camp where he's, shed all this weight and got himself into pretty decent shape. And then he's fighting for the WBC championship. It's a movie, it's a, 2-part or 3-part mini-series right there, if he can get there and get the job done. And it's no guarantee, because Deontay Wilder, he very tricky, very awkward, athletic, quick, and obviously he's got that big right hand, and I think he's got an underrated left hook. And when he uses that jab, because he's got an 83-inch reach, it's not too bad. He has one of the longest reaches in the division, and obviously the biggest, out of all the good guys, the big guys, is Tyson Fury, 85 inches. But Davison, what is he going to add in this situation beyond just training and fitness? Obviously, he's a somewhat inexperienced trainer. He's got some sort of background as a fighter and, amateur days and whatnot. But in terms of Tyson Fury, he's been to the mountaintop before. He's got the job done. Is he going to be taking too much on board from Ben Davison, who has not been to the mountaintop before? Can Ben Davison get through to him? Can he add value more than just a weight loss and fitness coach? Because Ben Davison has spoken about, wanting to, really do some things with Fury and make some tweaks and adjustments that he think could add some value. And to be honest, have we seen that yet? Have you seen anything that Tyson Fury has done differently so far in his comeback where you've thought, that's different, I haven't seen that before, that's a new look, that is something different? I can't say that I have. And you would hope that Ben Davison is more than just a fitness and weight loss coach, that he can add value, that he is a calming influence. And actually, I think he probably is. He's very close to Tyson Fury. Mentally, probably been quite a rock there for Fury. He's seen the highs and the lows, throughout this past year. And I'm sure, through all of that process, he's gained Tyson Fury's trust. But for an occasion at the end of the year, taking on Deontay Wilder, is there something that Ben Davison can bring to the table beyond the obvious that you can go, actually, he's going to be an asset in Tyson Fury's corner? Let me know what you think. Is Ben Davison going to be able to do something that's, going to be an ace in the hole for Tyson Fury? What do you make of it all? Drop a comment loud and often, hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.